All right, this is part 2 of a video series on refinishing, restoring a 1913 Colt Military 1911. You know what, I got kind of started late in the process. The first part, I simply showed the frame and slide. Came to me, it was coated nickel and had been sandblasted. Let me see if I can show you here. There is some pitting, but a lot of that, and I've already started to rework this slide, you can tell on top, where I've already started to draw file it. Here's some untouched areas. It was sandblasted and nickel plated. Somebody did that down the line. This pistol has been to Augusta Arsenal. It's AA stamped on the other side. But anyway, in the part 2, I want to keep these kind of short. The part 2 series on this is, so I went ahead and obviously disassembled the pistol completely. Removed the grip screw bushings, so you have a nice even surface to work with. You're not working around those because their polishing marks will show up and your file marks. It just won't look right. So now I'm on to draw filing to get all these edges nice and crisp. To get as much of the pebbly finish I can get out. I'm almost actually done filing. You can see where I got some bright areas here. I want all that to look like that, and you can see where it's uneven right here, where you get a skip, another shine. So this area right here with this pebbling is lower than those 2 spots. So I'll draw files until everything is the same level, and I get that nice brightness across the entire surface on each side. And then I'll switch to a polishing, and I'll do that in part 3. So anyway, here's some of the files that I use, all different sizes, different types. The other thing I did too is that in order to hold the frame, you could use a vise with a rubber or plastic or a brass vise. I just take a piece of wood and I use some nails and some of the holes in here. I line them up, cut them off with a Dremel bit, and that holds your frame nice and tight, so that's not going to move. And then I just use a little wood, a pincher clamp, that's the word I'm looking for, to hold the whole thing straight. And that allows me to, work my files with 2 hands in one direction. I'm just giving you an example right now. Always just work your file in one direction. Make sure to flip it over and then clean it out every once in a while. You can already see that just doing that, I already got this other flat spot right here taken care of. The other thing, I don't know if it's important to you guys, but when I restore these guns, I do everything possible. Actually, I will not remove enough pitting, all the pitting, if it's going to affect the original roll marks. We're going to lose some of that, but like this serial number is still nice and crisp. I'll just take this surrounding area off enough to where that serial number, I can actually even feel it still raised there. And then on the other side, same thing with the US property on the front. See if I can flip this over. It's been to AA, like Augusta Arsenal. So you can see all that pebbly area. Inspection mark's just about gone. It came to me that way. I haven't even touched that area yet. Oh yeah, the other thing, like I already said, I did remove the grip screw bushings. I did a video on that if you want to check that out on my channel. But the plunger tube assembly, when possible, I like to remove those. So again, just like the other side, I can work this whole entire surface. However, these early ones are staked in. I'd like to save this original part. I don't want to destroy it. So I've left it in. So what I did is I just, it's not pretty, but it works. I just took a little router with a sandpaper bit and a stone bit, hollowed that area out so the plunger tube just fits in there, so that whole assembly is laying nice and flat. And then you'll see that I have another nail pin location, so I can work the frame this way on those 2 pins, flip it over, plunger tube drops in, and I can work it on this side as well. All right, so again, 1913 Colt, came to me nickel plated and heavily sandblasted before it was nickel plated. And by the time I get done with this, it should last another 100-something years. and have a proper blued finish. Not totally Colt proper finish, but it'll be blued and it'll look nice. I'll show you guys the slide, and I'll do another segment. I'll do a part 3 on the frame, and then I'll do some more on the slide. So if you're going to do these things, remove the sights, the rear sight at least. Front sight, I leave them in. I don't want to get them out of there and press them back in. And I want to leave as much original parts as possible. So that's my tip. Just get yourself a nice flat piece of board. You know, line some nails up. I used a screw with that one, so it's a bigger hole to line up with the slide stop hole in the frame. That'll hold it in place while you're working either side. Just use a clamp, and then that way that's not going to move on you. And then have at it. File and polish. All right, guys, I'll put up part 2, maybe in a couple days, maybe later. All right, bye.